What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, it's Halloween night, and to celebrate the occasion, we're going to be trying out Shadow Bone Shiny Alolan Marowak in the Halloween Cup. Now, Shadow Bone is obviously the new exclusive move for Alolan Marowak from the raid day, and honestly, it's actually pretty good. The best part about it is that there's a chance for it to lower your opponent's defense, which can come in really handy in a lot of situations. And for this particular team comp, I'm going to be running it alongside Azumarill and Tentacruel, and honestly, this is a really solid team comp with great balance in coverage against most of the meta. Yes, it's going to be slightly weak to Galvantula leads, but it can pretty much handle most of the other stuff that you're going to see, right? And I managed to go 4-1 twice and 3-2 once in the 3 sets of battles that I did with this team. And I'm going to be picking some of the best battles from those 3 sets that I did. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with Azumarill with Alolan Marowak and Tentacruel in the back. So we have Azumarill into a Toxicroak. This is actually a pretty neutral matchup. I do have to watch out for Sludge Bomb, which is going to hit for super effective because of the fairy typing. So I'm actually going to try and switch into my Alolan Marowak to catch the Sludge Bomb. Now this is resisted because of the ghost typing, and this is actually a pretty good situation to be in because I should be able to get to this Bone Club before they can get to a Mud Bomb. Now, of course, Bone Club would hit for super effective because of the poison typing on Toxicroak. I'm hoping this takes it out, but unfortunately they survive with like very minimal health. So I'm definitely going to shield this because Mud Bomb would do quite a bit of damage. And then I'm going to try and fire spin this thing down, but they actually make a switch into their Tentacruel. Now, Alolan Marowak actually has a pretty positive matchup against Tentacruel because Bone Club is going to hit for super effective. And both Acid Spray and Poison Jab are resisted because of the ghost typing. And they're going to basically have to build up all the way to a Hydro Pump to do any sort of damage. So I'm going to be able to spam these Bone Clubs here. Now, even though it hits for super effective, doesn't really do that much, but it's definitely going to add up over time. And I was trying to get to another Bone Club. Unfortunately, we lost CMP, I think. And it ends up being a Blizzard, which is a very interesting move because most Tentacruels run Hydro Pump, but it's absolutely fine. That does take us out in spite of being resisted. But now I'm going to come in with my Tentacruel and go straight for the Acid Spray here. Now, this is definitely not going to KO the Tentacruel, but it's going to put it pretty low to a point where I can Poison Jab down. And this is probably going to be another Blizzard. It's going to be resisted because of the water typing, which is absolutely fine. But they make a switch into their Toxicroak. I'm not sure why. It had very minimal HP anyways, but they come in with their Alolan Marowak. Now I'm going to try and switch into my Azumarill to catch the Bone Club, which is perfect, right? I knew they were going to throw the Bone Club onto my Tentacruel. Now this is perfect because Bone Club is going to do absolutely nothing to an Azumarill. And then I'm going straight for the Hydro Pump here because I either want to get their final shield or take out the Alolan Marowak. Let's see what they decide to do. They give up the shield, which is absolutely fine because I should be able to get to another Hydro Pump here, hopefully, before they can take us out. Now, even though it's a Shadow Ball, this is not going to take us out. I'm going to let this go through. But I do have to watch out for the fact that they're running Hex, which is doing more damage than Fire Spin would. It ends up being a CMP because this is probably going to be a Bone Club, but I'm going to have to shield this because I want to land the Hydro Pump onto this Marowak. And Hydro Pump is definitely going to finish off the Alolan Marowak from this range. And now I'm going to immediately switch into my Tentacruel and throw the Acid Spray here because their Tentacruel has very minimal HP. And this Acid Spray is definitely going to take it out from this range to take the win here. So pretty close battle, as you can see. I mean, Tentacruel is really solid in being able to close out games. And of course, Alolan Marowak having a positive matchup against Tentacruel really helped me to flip that matchup as well. So moving into the second battle here, we have Azumarill into a Zweilous. As good as it gets. This is beautiful. This is perfect. They're still staying in, which is absolutely fine. And they're probably going to throw a Body Slam here, which is going to hit for neutral. But it's absolutely fine. It's going to do almost nothing to an Azumarill. And they, as expected, they make a switch into their Victory Bell. And I go straight into Alolan Marowak here. So again, Alolan Marowak is a complete wall to Victory Bell because everything it has is resisted. Obviously, it's a shiny V-Shiny, which is really interesting. But anyways, they go for the Leaf Tornado, and I mean, fortunately, we don't get the attack debuff, which is absolutely fine, and we're able to farm down. They come in with Crustle. I go straight for the Bone Club here. This is going to do neutral damage because of the Rock and Bug typing. And I'm hoping this gets the shield. Does get the shield. Now I can go straight for the Shadow Bone here. And this is going to do a decent amount of damage if it goes unshielded. And I'm hoping that this gets the defense debuff. And it gets the defense debuff and gets 2 shields. This is perfect. I'm going to try and come in the Azumarill and go for the Hydro Pump as soon as possible. But they make a really nice switch into their Zweilous to catch the Hydro Pump. Now this is resisted because of the Dragon typing. I was aware of the fact that they would probably switch, but I was trying to sneak a Hydro Pump through before they could, possibly switch. But they were, up to it, I guess. But I'm going to let this go through. It's going to put us pretty low, but because Dragon Breath is double resisted, I'm hoping I can get to an Ice Beam, but unfortunately we're not able to. So this is actually okay because I'm actually going to come in with Tentacruel and try and Poison Jab this thing all the way down. I'm not going to shield this because not going to do that much damage. I mean, Dragon Breath's definitely adding up, but I'm definitely want to save the shields for the matchup against Crustle. But this is perfect, right? Because we still have 2 shields. I'm definitely going to shield this. I'm not going to flex. It doesn't matter what it is. Definitely shielding this up, because even though Exeter is resisted, it's absolutely fine, because I should be able to get to this Hydro Pump here, which is going to hit for super effective because of the rock typing, and should pretty much one-shot the Crustle there. So once again, Tentacruel proving to be a really solid closer. I mean, if you can save 2 shields for it, it can handle almost everything in the Halloween Cup meta, as long as you don't run into a confusion user. It can pull through in most situations, which is why I think it's just so fantastic and so reliable in closing out games. So moving into the next battle, we have an Azumarill into an Obstagoon. Again, a very positive lead. I do have to watch out for Gunk Shot, obviously, but let's see what they decide to do. They actually make a switch into their Tentacruel, and I go straight into my Tentacruel here. In hindsight, I probably should have gone into my Alolan Marowak, because it has a better matchup. Now, the one thing I have to remember is that I have to win switch advantage here, because I want to make sure that my Azumarill is lined up against their Obstagoon and not my Alolan Marowak. And yeah, this is probably just going to be an Acid Spray, which is absolutely fine. I'm not going to shield this. Actually, they go for the Hydro Pump, which is pretty interesting. So this is good, because now I'm going straight for the Hydro Pump here. And this is probably just going to be an Acid Spray, because it was too soon to be a Hydro Pump. Now, the good thing about this is that I threw the Acid Spray first. So because their defense is lowered, this Hydro Pump should probably take it out in spite of being resisted. Let's see if this gets the shield. I'm hoping they don't shield, but they do shield that, which is absolutely fine. Now they maintain switch advantage here, but it's okay because we have shield advantage. And then this is just going to be an Acid Spray. It's too soon to be a Hydro Pump, so I'm going to let this go through. And then they make a switch into their Obstagoon and then go straight for the Night Slash. So I was actually waiting for them to switch. I was trying to switch in my Azumarill to catch the Night Slash. Now I'm going to switch in my Azumarill and go straight for the Hydro Pump here. Obviously, Play Rough would be better in this matchup, but Hydro Pump is still going to do a ton of damage. They actually shield that, which is absolutely fine, because we should be able to get to another one. And they are building up on quite a bit of energy here. So I'm definitely going to shield this, because I don't want to get hit by a Gunk Shot. And it's just a Night Slash, unfortunately. They baited us, and also they get the boost. And this is probably just going to be another Night Slash, because it was too soon to be a Gunk Shot. And I'm going to try and throw the Hydro Pump as soon as I get it, because again, a boosted Obstagoon can be extremely dangerous. So I want to get rid of it as soon as possible. And then, yeah, they're probably going to come back with Tentacruel. I'm trying to get to an Ice Beam before they can get to an Acid Spray. And luckily, we were able to get to an Ice Beam just in time here. Now, even though this is resisted, it should probably take out the Tentacruel from this range. And right now, they have an Alolan Marowak in the back. And now I'm going to switch into my Alolan Marowak and go straight for the Shadow Bone. Now, because we have the energy advantage, I was able to get to it first. And this is going to do super effective damage because of the Ghost typing. And almost takes it out. But I should be able to get to this Bone Club here. And this is definitely going to take out the Alolan Marowak. I was kind of surprised that I was able to get to that Bone Club. I thought they probably should have gone to a Shadow Ball. I don't know if they overfarmed or what happened there. But, I mean, we still had an Azu in the back. I mean, with minimal health. But I think we had that for the most part. I mean, we pretty much had that game anyway. So moving into the next battle here, as you can see, this team is really performing well in most situations. You know, again, I was able to win most of the matches that I sort of played with this team. But anyways, we have Azumarill into a Tentacruel. This is really challenging here. So I'm actually going to switch into my Tentacruel, and yeah, they're still staying in, which tells me they don't have a Tentacruel counter in the back. So they probably have an Azumarill and probably a Marowak or something, but even Alolan Marowak is a pretty positive matchup, right? Again, but most people are reluctant to switch it into a Tentacruel, but I personally would do that. But anyways, yeah, we're still playing out this matchup here. We're throwing Acid Sprays at each other, trying to get the defense debuffs. And yeah, it's probably just going to be another Acid Spray. And this is where I make a mistake, because I should have gone for the Hydro Pump right now. There's no point going for the Acid Spray, because Hydro Pump, again, would have done a ton of damage, because they had their defense lowered anyways. And this is not a good situation to be in, because they had the energy advantage. They should be able to get to this Acid Spray first. And yeah, at this point, we are double debuffed. So it's going to be difficult to get to another Acid Spray. We're not able to get it, which is fine. So I'm obviously going to come in with my Alolan Marowak and try and farm this Tentacruel down. And we lose switch advantage, which is not great. And they have an Azu in the back. So I'm going straight for the Shadow Bone here. I'm really hoping that this gets the defense debuff onto the Azumarill, and does get the defense debuff actually, which is fantastic. And now I'm going to try and switch into my Azumarill to catch the charge move. They don't throw, so they're probably going to throw right now. This is going to be a play rough, and yeah, it's going to do okay damage, but can't take another one of those, because I definitely want to preserve the health on my Azumarill. I'm going to risk for the Hydro Pump, but I think we lost CMP there, so absolutely fine. I'm definitely going to shield this up again. It is a play rough, so I'm going straight for the Hydro Pump. Now, even though this is resisted, it should probably take out the Azumarill, because their defense has been lowered because of Shadow Bone. They shield that up, which is absolutely fine. And Yeah, they're probably going to get to a player off before we can get to a Hydro Pump. So I'm not going to shield this because I can't afford to burn both shields at this point. We should be able to get to this Hydro Pump here, and this is definitely going to take out the Azumarill if it goes unshielded. And I'm really hoping that whatever they have in the back is weak to my Alolan Muck. Let's see what they have in the back, and they have an Alolan Marrow. I beg your pardon, weak to my Alolan Marowak, but they have an Alolan Muck. So this is a terrible situation to be in because, again, Bone Club, even though it hits for super effective, it's going to take multiple Bone Clubs to get rid of it. And also, it's basically going to take them just 2 Dark Pulses, right? Because we have a shield. I'm going to shield the first one. And they're definitely going to get to the second Dark Pulse before we can get to 2 Bone Clubs because they have a shield advantage as well. They can definitely shield this Bone Club and then get to a Dark Pulse there. So, yeah. Really, also my switch timer is not back up, so I can't necessarily switch out to sack my Azu, but yeah, Dark Pearl's definitely going to take us out, and then Azumarill basically has no health left, and yeah, they're going to be able to farm us down there. So actually, we were once bubble away from an Ice Beam, so that was actually very close because if I had the slight energy advantage, then I probably would have been able to get off the Ice Beam onto the Alolan Muck, but it's all ifs and buts. It's absolutely fine. That's actually one of the few losses that I had. But moving into the final battle of the video, we have Azumarill into a Wormadam, a Trash Cloak Wormadam. A pretty interesting Pokemon. Actually, it's a pretty solid Pokemon in the Halloween Cup because of the Steel typing and also because it's a Confusion user. It has a pretty solid matchup against a lot of the Poison types. I mean, Poison types don't really have a counter in the Halloween Cup meta because there aren't as many Psychic or Ground types. But again, having Trash Cloak Wormadam can really keep a check on that, right? Against Pokemon like Tentacruel, Venomoth, etc., Beedrill, etc., it's going to be pretty solid. So, anyways, yeah, they shield the Hydro Pump, which is absolutely fine. I'm not going to shield this because we can survive the Iron Head. And I can't get to a Hydro Pump, so I'm going to go for the Ice Beam. I'm hoping they think it's a Hydro Pump and shield, but they're probably not going to shield this because it was too soon to be a Hydro Pump. They do let the Ice Beam go through, which is absolutely fine. And yeah, I'm obviously going to come in with my Alolan Marowak here and try and Fire Spin farm this thing down because it's double weak to fire because of the bug and steel typing. They actually come in with Haunter, which is pretty interesting because Alolan Marowak with energy advantage can be pretty solid against a Haunter. They do shield the Bone Club there, and yeah, we should be able to get to another Bone Club. Unfortunately, we lost EMP. I'm definitely shielding this up because Shadow Punch would do quite a bit of damage. And I'm actually expecting them to switch out, but they're not switching out. Now I throw the Bone Club and they switch on the charge move. They actually make a switch into their Skunk Tank, which is actually pretty good because even Skunk Tanks take super effective damage from Bone Club because of the poison typing. And again, they have Poison Jab as their fast move, which is resisted by Alolan Marowak because of the Ghost typing. And this is perfect, right? Now this Skunk Tank is in perfect Fire Spin farm down range, so I can probably farm it down and then get off a Bone Club onto the Haunter. That's my win condition here. So I'm going to completely Fire Spin farm this thing down, and then we have a Bone Club ready to go. I was actually trying to go for the Shadow Bone for the flex, but I decided to go for the Bone Club anyways because it's going to hit for super effective and pretty much take out the Haunter. Again, Haunter is extremely glassy, so it's going to pretty much go down to most charge moves anyways, but as you can see, we were able to take the win. This is actually the final set of battles where I went 3-2. I actually went 4-1 in the previous couple of sets of battles that I did with this team. Obviously picked the best battles from the 3 sets that I did and showcased in this video, but as you can see, this is actually a very solid team comp, a team that I'm definitely looking forward to try, over the next couple of days as well, but I have a lot of other interesting team comps to showcase as well, so stay tuned for that, and happy Halloween, and I'll see you tomorrow.